The 2021 MLB Trade Deadline is on Friday. In today's video, I'm going to look at the buyers and sellers of the 2021 Major League Baseball Trade Deadline. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do in today's video. But before I get into this video, 92% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead, get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like. So yeah, let's go ahead, get into this video. So let's start off with the buyers or sellers. We're going to start in the American League East. And the Orioles, I think, are just going to stay put. Like, I don't see them really trading anybody. Maybe a Paul Fry gets traded. But besides that, I don't really see them trading a Trey Mancini. I don't really see them trading a John Means, considering that he really hasn't come back from injury yet. Cesar Valdez has kind of fallen off. Cedric Mullins, I doubt is going to be traded. The 34 and 64 right now, but I highly doubt that they do trade. Any of these pieces, which might seem a little crazy because the Orioles are usually sellers, but I think that they're going to keep the same roster. I think maybe, like I said, you could see a Paul Fry trade, but that's about it. The Blue Jays are buyers, I think. I think that the Blue Jays definitely are going to go out, probably try to get some pitching. They're probably not going to get a Scherzer, but they could get some good pitching. And the Blue Jays definitely need some pitching. I think if the Blue Jays get good pitching, like I'm talking like another really good starter, and you've already got Ray, Ryu there, and Matz, who are three solid starters, and the bullpen, though, is horrible. The bullpen is really, really bad. They're really going to have to use some of these top prospects and go get a Richard Rodriguez or a Craig Kimbrell or an Ian Kennedy or a Brad Hand or a Daniel Hudson or somebody. They've got to make a move in the bullpen because their starting lineup is absolutely stacked with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, George Springer, Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel. Their lineup's absolutely stacked. They just need the pitching. The Yankees, I think, are buyers as well. I think that they're definitely going to buy at the deadline. It seems like if Trevor Story's traded, it seems like right now it's going to be the Yankees that trade for Trevor Story. And with this Yankees team, they always are buyers. They're never going to sell off pieces, and I don't see them selling off pieces this time either. They definitely need to consider starting pitching more than a position player like Trevor Story. If they're calling the Rockies, they need to ask about a John Gray as well. He's going to be a rental, but the Yankees want to win. So, I mean, you're going to have to really make some calls. Maybe a Kyle Gibson as well could be an interesting guy. I doubt they get Max Scherzer. I really do doubt that. But I mean, they need to make a move as far as starting pitching as well, because their starting pitching is really down to it now. Corey Kluber is going to be coming back at some point this year. But right now, you've got Cole, Montgomery, Taillon, who's not, or Jamison Taillon, who's not been very good this year. Domingo Herman had the no-hitter going into the seventh that they choked the other night. But yeah, the Rays are buyers as well. We've already seen them make a move of buyers with them trading for Nelson Cruz. And I think that it's only more to come. The Rays are interested right now in Chris Bryant, Max Scherzer, and Kyle Gibson. So they're interested in a lot of the big names. Here, I wouldn't be surprised if they unload the Kevin Kiermaier contract at the deadline, which a lot of people are going to consider as selling at the deadline. That's not selling. That's making a good Rays move, which is probably going to mean that at some point that they're going to get like a relief pitcher that's going to be really, really good back for them, or a starting pitcher. That's what the Rays do. And their lineup is pretty good right now. Obviously, I doubt they trade for Chris Bryant. I really do. Joey Wendell's there. He was an all-star this year. I just don't really see them trading for a third baseman. Max Scherzer, though, I don't want to spoil my trade deadline predictions. But I mean Scherzer, maybe you'll see. I'm not hitting at anything. That bullpen is absolutely crazy with Diego Castillo, Pete Fairbanks, Andrew Kittredge, who was an all-star this year, Drew Rasmussen, Jeff Springs, Matt Whistler, Colin McHugh. So many arms in that bullpen, and it's a really good lineup too. The Rays are in really, really good position right now. Another buyers, the Boston Red Sox. 4 teams are buyers in the AL East, I think. I think that the Red Sox are definitely going to operate as buyers, even with the limited luxury tax. I could have saw them getting a guy like Andrew Chafin, who got traded to the Oakland Athletics last night. I think they could maybe use another bullpen arm, even though the bullpen has been pretty solid this year with Matt Barnes, Adam Ottavino. And the starting pitching has been good as well. I think that maybe they use another arm, but like Chris Sale's kind of like a trade deadline piece right there. Bobby Dahlbeck he might need to sit the bench because I think that maybe they do look for a first baseman here. Like, I would not be surprised if they go out and trade for an Anthony Rizzo if the Cubs are willing to pay some of that salary and the Red Sox possibly give them a better prospect back in return. They're not going to get a great prospect back for Anthony Rizzo, but still. The Twins, I think, are going to kind of stay put. Their owner said that they're not going to be sellers. They're not going into rebuild mode right now. And they've already sailed with Nelson Cruz. They're basically just going to kind of get off the pieces that are just on like this year contracts. So they're probably going to trade anybody who's on like a 1-year contract. They could trade an Alex Colomé possibly, who would have been a big piece last year, but not really this year. I'm pretty sure Hansel Robles is on a 1-year deal as well. I mean, Barrios, we've heard the rumors. I don't think he gets traded this year. Just my personal opinion. Andrelton Simmons could be traded. I think if you can get off the Josh Donaldson contract, do it. Do it. That's a big contract. They could trade Buxton as well, so they could be sellers. But I think realistically, they most likely are going to be sellers, but stay put as well, if that makes any sense. So, next team in the AL Central is the Royals. The Royals have been one of the most up and down teams this year. They have a winning streak where they win 10 in a row, and then they lose 20 in a row, it feels like. That's been the thing with the Royals this year. It's been rumored that Whit Merrifield is a trade could be more realistic this year than in other years. And their bullpen, if they're willing to sell some of that bullpen, they could possibly get some good pieces back for it. But Whit Merrifield's the biggest piece that they have right now by far. Salvador Perez is not being traded. Carlos Santana could be a guy that's traded. I doubt Benintendi's traded either. But yeah, I think that this Royals team definitely needs to kind of go to the youth movement, kind of let their players call up Bobby Witt if he's still having a good year, which he is. He just got promoted to AAA. If he keeps on with that in AAA, then bring Bobby Witt up. Like, just be sellers. The Tigers, I think, actually stay put. Like, I don't think that they have a ton of guys that are going to be big trade deadline pieces. Maybe a Matthew Boyd, but I'm pretty sure he's on the injured list, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's on the injured list right now. And they've got great young pitching with Mize, Screwball, Joey Wentz, Jackson Jobe, who they just drafted, Ty Madden. They've got a ton of great pitching. A Gregory Soto could be on the move maybe. But I don't see this team really selling a lot of pieces. I think that maybe if any team's interested in Nico Goodrum, why not? Just for the simple reason that I think that Zach Short's going to be a really good player there at shortstop, and he's really not getting the full playing time. So for the White Sox, they are definitely going to be buyers at the deadline. I think that they're bound to make a big move, especially with all these players being under rookie-scale contracts, so they're not paying a ton of money. I've said that I could see them going out and getting a Chris Bryant at the deadline. Now, they're getting basically 2 deadline transactions here. Getting Eloy Jimenez back and Luis Robert back is going to be huge for this team. This team's been great even without these 2 players, which has been a little bit of a surprise of how good they've been just without these players. And they're definitely going to look for a second baseman, maybe even a third baseman, whichever, just because Yohan Moncada can move to second if needed. And Brett Dahl's going to come back at some point. The bullpen, I think, is actually very, very good. The White Sox are sitting comfortably in the AL Central right now. Obviously, they haven't had to face the best of competition in the AL Central this year, but still, I think that the White Sox are a legitimate team in the AL, especially if you get somebody to replace Leury Garcia at the second base position. Adam Frazier, who we thought was going to be a realistic guy, is gone. Maybe it's Eduardo Escobar now. Who knows? Next is the Cleveland baseball team, or the Cleveland Guardians, excuse me. It will take me a while, but I think that they're going to be buyers and sellers like they always are, honestly. If you realize they haven't had Bieber or Savali basically this whole year, um, and their rotation just has not been the same as it usually is because of it. Cesar Hernandez, I think, could bring some sneaky trade value. Jose Ramirez is kind of out there. They haven't had discussions about a trade with him. Nolan Jones, their top prospect, could come up, and I mean he's a third baseman as well. Eddie Rosario is a guy that definitely could be traded as well. But the Cleveland Guardians do not have a ton of valuable assets unless you're ready to trade Karinchak in Class A, and that's when you really have some good assets to trade, obviously without J-Ram. But the Angels, I see staying put at the deadline. They have apparently, according to some reports, having some interest. Some teams are having some interest in their starting pitchers, which is understandable. Trout has not been healthy for most of this year, and Ohtani's basically been leading this team all year. And Heaty's been bad. Cobb's been bad. The whole starting pitching's been bad. Raisel Iglesias has not been bad out of the pen this year. But, I mean, when Trout comes back, they're going to be a better team. I could see them operating as buyers, but I think they're going to just stay put, honestly. For the Athletics, they traded for Andrew Chafin last night. I see them staying put, though, honestly. I just do not see the Athletics making a big move like for Kimbrel or Rodriguez. I just don't see that. Not to mention that they don't have the type of prospects to do that either, considering that their farm system's not very good. Matt Chapman's been bad this year. Matt Olson's had one of his best years ever. Jed Lowry's been good this year. Raymond Laureano, obviously we know what he's going to provide in center field and can hit pretty well as well. Mark Canha is extremely underrated. People need to start talking about Mark Canha. The starting pitching's pretty good as well. Minus Jesus Luzardo, he's been a huge disappointment this year. Next up is the Astros. They're going to be buyers at the deadline. They're going to be looking for a closer, whether that is Richard Rodriguez or Craig Kimbrel. At the deadline, they're going to be really trying to get a relief pitcher, and that's really their biggest weakness right now. Ryan Presley's really, really good, but they need another arm in that bullpen. But besides that, like, they are set. They are really, really set. They could get a center fielder as well. I could definitely see them going out and possibly getting the Starling Marte or Byron Buxton. I see kind of unrealistic, but I think that they might go out and get a center fielder and a reliever, and if they get those two, then they are absolutely set and might be the favorites to win the World Series this year, as much as people will hate it. The Rangers are sellers. I think that's pretty obvious, even though I think they might stay put. I think that they should be sellers, so this is more of what they should do, not probably what they will do. They probably will just stay put and be stubborn with Joey Gallo's contract exactly like they were with Lance Lynn's contract, and that's a problem. That is a problem. The Rangers need to stop with this crap. They need to capitalize on Joey Gallo's value and get his true value for him instead of this crap of, oh, we want to work out a contract extension with him. Stop it. Trade him. Kyle Gibson needs to be traded as well, I think. I think that you really, Ian Kennedy as well, like they need to trade all of them in my opinion. Now, I'm not usually big on like, oh, trade everybody, but like the Rangers here, I think we can see that. The Mariners, for the first time in a long, long time, are buyers. The Mariners are buyers this year. Their bullpen has been fantastic this year. Obviously, starting pitching's been a little shaky this year. Kikuchi was an all-star, though. Marco Gonzalez, But Chris Flexen has been really, really good this year. Chris Flexen has been huge this year. Kyle Lewis has not came back from injury yet. Jared Kelenic has been a huge disappointment since coming up for all the hype that he had. But, yeah, this team is going to operate as buyers. I think that they could get another bat. We've heard the rumors about Trey Turner, which is going to be interesting, whether he gets traded or not. My Braves, I think that they stay put, maybe trade Charlie Morton. But I think that they could. I actually think that Braves are going to be buyers. I think that we've already saw that they're going to be buyers at the deadline, and there's been some rumors about Byron Buxton, which I would love. Maybe trade Morton. I mean, it depends a lot on how these games versus the Mets go. Obviously, they split the doubleheader yesterday. But like that depends a lot right there on like what they're going to do at the deadline. Darno's going to be coming back. That's going to be a huge bat right there. The bullpen, if you're really competing this year, then the bullpen's going to need an upgrade. Who knows who that's going to be? But yeah. Next up, we have got the New York Mets. They're going to be buyers as well. They're looking for starting pitching on rentals, basically like a John Gray, a Max Scherzer, any guy who's a rental is going to be a guy that the Mets are interested in, but like a Tyler Anderson as well. They're interested in basically everybody who's on a rental of a contract. And so the Mets are going to be buyers at the deadline. I think any time in the Steve Cohen era, if they're even close to in it, then they're going to be buyers. The Phillies are going to be buyers as well. It's been rumored that they're going to make a big move at the deadline. Kimbrel, Rodriguez, I think they're going to get one of them. I'm not going to spoil which, but I think that they're going to get one of them at the deadline. The Phillies are going to make some big moves. They're probably going to try to get a center fielder as well, whether that's Starling Marte, Byron Buxton, but they're probably, if they really want Kimbrel, then they're probably going to have to put all their eggs in that basket. And yeah, this Phillies team is, if they get a center fielder and a bullpen arm, they're actually scary. Next up, we have the Nationals. I think they're going to be sellers. It's already been said that their message to teams are basically everybody but Soto's available, which means Scherzer's probably a 1,000% bet to get traded. Tyler Anderson, like I was talking about, probably going to get traded before tonight. But Scherzer's going to be traded. I think that Turner definitely. It seems like a lot of teams are very, very, very interested in him. As we see a rumor. Okay, I'm looking here on MLB Trade Rumors, and they say that the Blue Jays are interested in Joey Gallo and Richard Rodriguez, which is interesting. Oh, Joey Gallo. But for the Nationals here, if any team wants Schwarber, I think they're going to have to maybe pay a hefty price, honestly, even though he is a rental. Turner as well. I don't think that Soto's going to be very inclined to stay on a losing team. Brad Hand, Daniel Hudson, they're probably gone as well. The Nationals actually have a lot of valuable assets. The Marlins, it's been said basically that they're going to be sellers at the deadline. They're already working on trades for Yimi Garcia, or I'm going to infer Yimi Garcia. But Starling Marte, Adam Duvall, they're getting trades done for them. And basically everybody but Miguel Rojas, which is an interesting guy to keep there. But I could see where that comes from. But the Reds apparently called about him, trying to get him. But Yimi Garcia is actually going to be a sneaky good piece to a team, whether that's in the 8th or 9th inning. Going now to the NL Central, the Pirates will be sellers at the deadline. They're going to trade Richard Rodriguez, I about bet. Tyler Anderson, like I said, is going to be traded. And that's probably the only two really valuable assets they have, unless they're ready to give or trade Brian Reynolds, which I highly doubt that they trade him. They've already traded Adam Frazier. I mean, this Pirates team are sellers. The Reds are really interesting because the Reds are currently 51-49. They're basically fighting for a wild card spot, which they're 6 games back up. I don't necessarily think that they should be buyers, considering that they're in a really, really bad position. And it just happens to be that the 2 best relief pitchers, which is what they need, on the board happen to be in the NL Central, being Craig Kimbrel and Richard Rodriguez. So they're in a really unlucky position. They could still trade for like an Ian Kennedy, but I think that they're going to be like buyers at the deadline. I think that they are going to be buyers, but I think it's going to be awfully hard just because of, like I said, Craig Kimbrel and Richard Rodriguez being in division for them. Next up is the Cardinals. They're going to be buyers as well. You've got to keep Nolan Arenado happy, and that's what they're going to try to do here. They're going to try to go out, trade for a big starter. You've already got Jack Flaherty, but you need another guy. And they're going to be buyers just to keep Nolan Arenado happy, because Nolan Arenado, they probably don't want Nolan Arenado not being happy, because he could opt out after this year and be gone. Next up is the Brewers. They're buyers as well. They're definitely looking for a bat. Willie Adames, that pickup has been a phenomenal pickup for that team. Richard Yelich has not been himself this year nor last year, and so they definitely are going to probably trade for a big bat. But the pitching is set with Josh Hader, Devin Williams in that bullpen, and then the starting pitching of Freddie Peralta, Corbin Burns, and Brandon Woodruff. I would be scared to face them in a playoff series. The Dodgers are going, or never mind, the Cubs sellers. This is pretty obvious. You're going to trade Chris Bryant, Craig Kimbrell. You've already traded Jack Peterson, Andrew Chapin. Anybody of value is going to be traded for the Chicago Cubs team. The Dodgers are buyers, like I said. The Dodgers are going to be looking for a starting pitcher, and that's going to be their main focus at the deadline. They've got a ton of hitting already. They're going to be focusing on a starting pitcher at the deadline. The Padres are going to be buyers as well. The Padres are another team that's looking for starting pitching, and could trade for another big bat, like they've been interested in Craig Kimbrell. They're interested in Jose Barrios. They're interested in a lot of guys, and AJ Preller just does not want to stop making moves, and he's going to make another big move at the deadline. Well, he's already made one with Adam Frazier, but he's probably going to make another big move. But the Giants, they're buyers as well. The Giants, this is their year. A lot of their players that are on this roster this year are free agents after this year. This is the year. Make it big, and I think that they're going to definitely be making possibly a big deal at the deadline. The sellers of the division are going to be the Rockies. The Rockies are definitely sellers at the deadline. I cannot see them not being sellers. I think that Story is probably gone. Maybe not, though. Like, if the Yankees do not offer a package, I mean, they've already offered a package, but they don't offer a good enough package for the Rockies. Maybe they just give them the qualifying offer and get that compensation pick out of that. And John Gray, I think, may be even more likely to be traded than Trevor Story. I really think that that's true. I think that a team like the Mets will really want a guy like John Gray, who not necessarily needs to be an ace, but he's a good player, and obviously he's going to get even better leaving Coors Field. The Diamondbacks are going to be sellers. Eduardo Escobar is probably going to be traded. Morel Kelly, that's about it. Maybe Joaquim Soria, but that's about it of the Diamondbacks that are going to be traded. They're not going to have a big fire sale. Ketel Marte will not be traded. They basically already said that he will not be traded. But yeah, I mean, they've got a couple valuable assets. But yeah, so yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Those are the buyers and sellers of the 2021 MLB Trade Deadline, in my opinion. So yeah, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications because, like I said, 92% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead, get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave it a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.